From going undercover as a married couple to eventually hooking up and having a child together, Tony and Ziva are definitely a fan favorite couple on NCIS. Their slow burn romance had fans totally hooked, and the two have shared some adorable moments together. So let's talk about the best Tony and Ziva moments. I mean, they were destined to be together right from the start. Just look at the first time they met. Ziva made a badass entrance to the show in its season 3 premiere, Kill Ari Part 1.
You know so?
Can't help it. I'll call you back.
And caught Tony daydreaming about Kate, which was hilarious. Their chemistry was off the charts from the beginning, with plenty of witty comebacks and playful banter. Fans loved the mix of tension and humor between them, and there was definitely a bit of sexual tension too. Ziva quickly showed that she was a total boss by demonstrating her amazing detective skills and impressing the whole team. As they worked together to solve the case, Tony even tried to teach Ziva some of his famous movie quotes, which was pretty adorable. Overall, the episode was an awesome way to introduce Ziva to the show and set up the dynamic between Tony and Ziva that fans would come to love. They went on to become one of the most beloved duos in NCIS history, with a great mix of humor, respect, and of course chemistry.
Really?
Born and raised on the East Coast, New England boarding school, spent some time in the Midwest.
Now let's talk about an iconic episode of NCIS when fans first realized that Tiva could be a thing. Remember when Tony and Ziva went undercover as a married couple? In NCIS Season 3, Episode 8, Tony and Ziva teamed up for their first big mission together. And let me tell you, they totally rocked it. The two went undercover as married assassins at a fancy hotel, and they played their roles to perfection. But the real highlight of the episode was when Tony and Ziva shared an epic makeout scene.
Take it you're not interested in the premium channels.
There's only one thing I'm interested in right now.
Fans were going crazy over it, and that wasn't even the best part. This was also the first time we heard Ziva call Tony by his adorable nickname, Sweet Cheeks. It was such a cute and playful moment.
Sweet Cheeks, do you think you could go over and answer the phone for me while I pour us some champagne?
And it really showed how much chemistry they had. But wait, it gets even better. Ziva also started calling Tony my little hairy butt, which was just hilarious.
You know, Sweet Cheeks?
Not yet. But the night's just getting started, my little hairy butt.
They had this great back and forth banter going on, and it was so much fun to watch. Overall, the episode was a total fan favorite and a major moment in the development of Tony and Ziva's relationship. They worked so well together even when they were pretending to be married assassins. It just goes to show how much trust and respect they had for each other, and fans loved every minute of it. Let's skip ahead a few seasons to the high-stakes Season 9 finale, when our favorite couple got stuck in an elevator.
We're stuck in an elevator. My father says it's all over the news in Israel.
The last episode was wild, man. A terrorist placed a bomb inside the team's headquarters, and everyone was in danger. And that's how Tiva ended up stuck in an elevator. It was a stressful situation, but it was also a chance for fans to see Tony and Ziva's relationship in a totally different light. They were forced to confront their feelings for each other while they were trapped together, and it was one of the most memorable moments of the season. As they waited for rescue, Tony and Ziva shared some seriously emotional and intimate moments. The chemistry between them was off the charts, and it was clear that they had a deep connection. The elevator scene was a game changer for their relationship, and fans were left craving more. It was the perfect way to end the season, and it set up some major possibilities for what could happen between Tony and Ziva in the future. Overall, the elevator scene was a highlight of the season finale, and it solidified Tony and Ziva's status as one of the most iconic duos in NCIS history. Fans were hooked on their chemistry, and it left them hyped for what was coming next. The two special agents really went on an emotional journey together, but that doesn't mean they didn't have fun. Let's rewind to Season 7 and that one adorable Jeopardy game. So in one episode of the season, the two played a game of Jeopardy together, and it was a real treat for fans of the couple. The game showed off their amazing chemistry and gave us a glimpse of their playful side. Tony and Ziva had to answer questions about each other, and it was clear they knew each other inside and out.
Tony, why are you here?
Couldn't live without you.
They teased each other and exchanged flirty banter that made us all go, "Aww." Actors Michael Weatherly and Cote de Pablo both loved filming the Jeopardy scene. Weatherly said it was one of his fave moments on the show, while de Pablo praised the writers for coming up with such a fun and cute scene. The Jeopardy game became one of the most memorable Tony and Ziva moments of the series, and fans went crazy for it. It was a rare moment of fun in a show that can get pretty intense, and it showed us why Tony and Ziva are one of the most loved TV couples ever. What makes Tony and Ziva such an iconic NCIS couple is that no one knew what was going to happen with them. This made everyone and their mother root for these star-crossed lovers. One such moment came in season 11 when Ziva had to say goodbye to Tony before leaving the team and returning to Israel.
You are so
Handsome? Funny? What?
loved.
It was a really emotional moment that tugged at fans' heartstrings. Tony was devastated by Ziva's sudden departure, and it was clear that he didn't want her to go. Ziva told Tony that he was like family to her, and it was a really touching scene that left many fans in tears. What made the scene even more special was the chemistry between Tony and Ziva. You could really see them devastated to lose each other, and their love was on full display. Even though they weren't officially together at the time, fans were rooting for them to get together. Overall, Ziva's goodbye to Tony in season 11 was one of the best Tony and Ziva moments because it showed just how much they meant to each other. The two really had an emotional connection like no other, and it got all of us teary-eyed. Tony and Ziva's separation was tough on all of us, but the reunion totally made up for it. In season 17, they had a reunion for the ages in Paris, and it was a moment that had been anticipated since Cote de Pablo left the show in season 11. It happened in a hotel room where Tony and Tali, their daughter, were staying. Ziva had faked her death to protect her family.
I lost my little sister, Tali, in a Hamas suicide bombing.
And she had been in hiding ever since. But when Tony discovered that she was alive, he immediately flew to Paris to be with her.
And then I'm gonna take her to Paris. Ziva loves Paris.
Sparks flew the second they laid eyes on each other. They hugged each other tightly and exchanged tearful "I missed yous" and "I love yous." Fans were losing it. The reunion was made even sweeter by the fact that Tony finally got to meet his daughter Tali for the first time. That's also when fans found out Tony and Ziva had hooked up off-screen. I'm still mad that didn't make it into any of the episodes, by the way. The Paris reunion was a major highlight of season 17, and it was the perfect way to give closure to Tony and Ziva's relationship. Even though we knew that Cote de Pablo was only back for a few episodes, it was still amazing to see Tony and Ziva together again. Well, there you have it. These are the best Tony and Ziva moments on NCIS.
This belonged to Ima, and now it's Tali's.